they know that they wouldn't be able to raise money just with their own company or with their own project, so they rather create some kind of pool of projects and get them together and raise money for all of them, because they know that being all together will give them more leverage in terms with potential investors.
I would like to go back to these new roles, new rules, new landscapes beyond the territories now. We have this transformation from producer and creator-centric to audience-driven. No need to talk about social media, online content, overflow of online content, which will be even like exploding with the usage of AI and synthetic content coming up. So what do you think is going to change in terms of new models of financing in public and private-backed production, where success is going to be even more difficult to get in this flood of content? How do you see the situation? Louis, you would like to start?
Well, it's true that some investors are also going to look at company investment rather than film investment, because it's a more reassuring kind of investment, because it's, I'd say, more of a classic way of investing, and you also benefit from a catalog that you may have already in the company. But through that investment, it will allow for sure the production company to have money to develop, maybe finance, acquire some IP. So we could see some more investment in companies. You were talking about the EIF, so the European Investment Fund. They last year, and it's going to go up until 2027, they are committing to investing in funds that are committing to invest in content or in companies. So we see also some I'd say big European financial backing. They also have a lot of a guarantee system in what you're signing today. But we'll probably also see some new models. I was talking about the creatives, so it's producer coming together, and they know that they wouldn't be able to raise money just with their own company or with their own project, so they rather create some kind of pool of projects and get them together and raise money for all of them, because they know that being all together will give them more leverage in terms with potential investors.
Elisa?
This is a difficult question. Because I wish I had a crystal ball. But so we see some trends, right? And I have some reservations personally in terms of investing in production companies, and we could spend a whole debate about that.
Right.
But the one trend that I definitely welcome is, and I'm seeing that more with American indie producers, is producers getting involved in the sales process and in the distribution, but actively involved, wanting to be sitting at sales meetings, wanting to be part of the developing of the marketing campaigns, primarily for domestic distribution, which is a new way of taking control, and it does benefit investors at large. It also requires repositioning, I think, the job of a producer to being more on the commercial side. But the industry is very open to that. Sales agent, it's all on a relationship basis, but sales agents tell me they're very happy to have those types of conversations, sitting together with producers. And we or when I represent investors, I see that as a very positive move.
Very interesting. I had recently a a keynote about producers at the Berlinale, and I was also like seeing a lot of people from the EPC networks, and it's the commercialization, the role between the creativity and the commercialization is something which is really hard to handle. Rosa, you want to add something?
I'll sort of add a little sort of a kind of next type angle here. So when you're talking about audience-driven completely to maybe the old models where we think the audience may want to see something and then every middleman sort of contributes something to the mix. I've been observing, my daughter is 16 and her friends, and they are actually paying to subscribe to some obscure like YouTube channels of Korean content and whatever. So I think that will be actually a huge thing, because at the moment, of course, as we know, all our linear commissioners are scratching their heads how to get the younger audience involved into linear content, and that obviously will never happen. Good luck with that, but
wait. I think, and that's where again. I mean, yesterday I had a panel with a Korean expert in the creative industries on the panel, and we were talking a lot about the virtualization of characters. So if I link this to what we were saying before about like the talent and etc., or if I even link it to audience-generated content. I mean, there is just a little step to think like, when is it happening that everybody can say like, my digital double can be in that series?
But you know, all of these things like Wattpad, as you know, fan fiction, where sometimes that can get so popular that films are made of it, or YouTube channels where you pay to see somebody's content, or Patreon where you want to follow. They are all like very fan-based, and they're also social media-based. So there are actors actually, and this is a tip for everyone, there are actors that are not that well-known maybe in the sort of mainstream. However, they have huge followings. When they post something, you know, millions of people immediately react to that. And that's really interesting. So I think it's a good idea to tap into that as well, because of course there are also models. Yesterday I was at a panel with the guys who are doing the, how is it called now? How is it called? Well, it's the guys from Zoetrope that started the DCP, so it's the decentralized
based on
picture
blockchain,
production. So it's a blockchain.
You can vote. It's a system
where
you can
enter your projects, and others will sort of be paid in their tokens to review the projects. And some projects have arisen from that. There are systems now where individuals can be little equity investors, so if they like a project. And of course, crowdfunding is already an old thing. Finland did that already in 2010 when Iron Sky was not completely, but majorly crowdfunded. So there's a lot of these new things happening. And of course, actually, the old style of doing things, I think we are still holding on to it, but it's slowly crumbling. And we are seeing now in Europe that finally Americans are coming to us because they don't have the money anymore to pay for everything. So they are coming and trying to find out what the European models are, how we actually finance things here. So it's a very interesting time, a time of opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. So talking about the European perspective, and if we really look at the European ecosystem for investors, what do you think is missing in the big pictures? What do you think we don't have and we should have in our investment ecosystem? Is there anything that you are missing? That was like, oh, if we would have that. Or in Europe, we have it all and the States are getting inspiration from us.
You mean to attract new investors?
Yes.
Well, I'd say there's no famous success story of investors in the ecosystem who just arrived and thrived, and maybe it's missing. and people are maybe not vocal enough about what they do, finance and when it works, because I'm talking to investors all the time, trying to get them to invest in the industry, either in a film or in a fund, and I see that they really have a pretty negative vision of film investment, and the fact that it's very risky and that sometimes they get screwed by the deals they get. So I'd say we're missing some good communication on the fact that it's a real interesting underlying asset, and that you can actually make some money out of investing if you do it well.